Now, the current pension system is like this. Now, it's fully funded by the national government. In other words, it's appropriated annually in the budget, but there's no contribution from the retirees. Okay, you have a kind of, that's a unique kind of pension system. Right now, I think it's in the neighborhood of around 120 to 130 billion pesos in the 2023 budget. If the salary of the incumbent is doubled, you get your pension doubled also. Okay? A pension can be received after 20 years of service with no minimum pensionable age. So some of them, they get recruited at the age of 20, so they can already retire at the age of 40. Okay? You have three groups of people: the military uniform personnel, you have the private sector, the SSS, those who retired under SSS, and those who retired under GSIS, government workers. The average monthly pension, this is monthly.
Good morning, Malacanang Press Corps, and welcome to our press briefing this morning, March 28th. President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. presided over the sectoral meeting this morning. Tinalakay dito ang proposed merger of Land Bank of the Philippines and the Development Bank of the Philippines. The proposed merger aims to have a more robust and competitive bank that will provide better and more accessible financial services for Filipinos. Aside from this, the updates on the proposed military and uniform personnel pension reform was also discussed. And to give us more details on this, kasama natin ngayon si Finance Secretary Benjamin Diokno. Good morning, Sec Diokno.
Thank you. As mentioned earlier, two topics were taken up today, both what I consider game-changing. No? The first one is the merger of the Development Bank of the Philippines and the Land Bank of the Philippines. By merging the two, it will now become the #1 bank in the Philippines, okay, ahead of Banco de Oro in terms of asset. Now, the President expressed the desire to merge the two, to make it the biggest bank in the country because of the recent financial developments abroad. No? And that's really the best practice. The biggest bank usually is owned by the state globally. Now, he expressed concern that in the process of merging, that none of the services provided by either bank will be lost. And we assured him that with the merger, because both the Land Bank and DBP are universal banks, they do almost the same, right? Except that one is focused on agri, the other one on industrial projects. But they do practically the same. And that as a result of the merger, there will be savings, and the merged bank will be stronger. And in fact, one likely outcome of this is that maybe the interest rate that they will charge will be lower than either of the two at the moment. Between the two of them, of course, as you know, the Land Bank is the bigger bank, right? It has how many branches? Land Bank has 752 branches at the moment, and the Development Bank of the Philippines has 147 branches. Now we mapped them, and as a result of the merger, only 22 branches of DBP will be retained, and that the plan is that Land Bank will have a branch in all LGUs in the Philippines. Okay, it could be a combination of light branches or big branches, ATMs, etc. Okay. Now, ang advantage nito talaga is that we will be able to save a lot of money for the national government. We estimate that the savings will be in the neighborhood of, at least for the first year, around, let me be more precise, 5 billion. The projected operating cost savings due to the merger could reach at least 5.3 billion per year. So for the next 4 years, at least 20 billion, okay? And this is even understated because this does not include revenues there that can be derived from the sale of redundant assets of DBP's various properties, such as its head office in Makati, a property in BGC, various branch properties, equipment, and licenses, and income that can be derived from the proceeds of such sale. Okay? So any question on the first topic? None? No question? Let me go to the second topic, which is, again, this is another game-changing reform. I said this is more complicated than the first topic because I told the President, your predecessors have decided to kick the can down the road. They don't want to address this. I usually call this the elephant in the room. Nobody would like to touch it, and they simply ignore it. And this is the military and uniformed personnel pension reform. Okay. So we met with DILG Secretary Benhar Abalos and DND Secretary Galvez. And let me describe to you the present pension system. No? The pension system covered by this are those from the Armed Forces of the Philippines, the Bureau of Jail Management and Penology, the Bureau of Fire Protection, the PNP, the Philippine Public Safety College, the Philippine Coast Guard, and the Bureau of Corrections. Now, the current pension system is like this. Now, it's fully funded by the national government. In other words, it's appropriated annually in the budget, but there's no contribution from the retirees. Okay, you have a kind of, that's a unique kind of pension system. Right now, I think it's in the neighborhood of around 120 to 130 billion pesos in the 2023 budget. The MUP pension is automatically indexed to the salary of the personnel of the same rank. In other words, if you are retiree, if you're a general getting X amount of money, if the salary of the incumbent is doubled, you get your pension doubled also. Okay. Third, when MUPs or military uniform personnel retired, they're given one rank higher. Okay, granted one rank higher. And so a pension can be received after 20 years of service with no minimum pensionable age. So some of them, they get recruited at the age of 20, so they can already retire at the age of 40. Okay? And you know how long their lives are, right? The military people, they live longer than us. Okay? Some at the age of 90. Okay? So they retire at 40, they get their pension up to age 90. Isn't that ridiculous? Okay. So we want to reform them, and right now the situation is so bleak. For example, that if you compare the current operating expenditures or maintenance and operating expenditures of the whole AAFP and the capital outlays, so the money they buy for airplanes, etc., it is actually much less than the amount of pension that we are allocating for the retirees. So there will come a time when the current budget will only be about one third or 1/4 of the money that we're paying for the pensioners. Okay, so we have to really address that issue. It's not sustainable. And I said if this goes on, there will be a fiscal collapse. So, what are the major recommendations. Again,